Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to video number 3 in our 25 Days of Sockmas series. It's a rainy day today, so that's why we've got kind of low lighting. Don't have a ring light. I used to. I don't know where it is. It didn't move with me. Anyway, in the last video, I was hitting a sock and I was having some tension issues with the machine, and I was gonna stop and start over, and that's exactly what I did. And I did end up, I just like went for it, and I got back to where I was in the sock, and then I kept going. And so I did make a sock. This is my first successful sock. If you remember from 2 videos ago, we made this crazy sock, which had major tension issues. Actually, I do have a couple swatches that happened in between that. I would have one more, but I had to unravel it for the yarn. So it took me three tries to finally get to the correct sock. This was the one that was really small that I just did a heel and then a couple rows, and then I forgot what I was doing and I did my toe. This one I think was the one that was having tension issues because it did have a heel, but I had to unravel it for that pink yarn. And then I made this. I figured out the tension, I got that all good. I know how to do the heel now, I know how to do the toe now. I know how to do Kitchener stitch now. I've always kind of hated Kitchener stitch, but I kind of like it on the socks. I have learned to use like a super contrasting scrap yarn when I cast off on the machine, because I think it was this one, yeah. You can see I have like a huge hole right here, and that's because I didn't know where my stitches were. My scrap yarn was not contrasting enough, and I did a really bad job, and I don't care because the sock is just an example of learning. I'm gonna keep using a super contrasting color to my toe color when I bind off on my machine. Also, you can see since I switched yarns, the tension kind of changed on the heel and the toe. And I think it was because the yarn, the pink yarn, is like slightly finer. You can see, like, I don't know, maybe you can't see, but it's definitely looser tension in the heel and the toe, and that's not really what I wanted. So then I did go and knit the next one because I was just like on a roll. And it really doesn't take that long to knit a sock with the machine if everything is going smoothly. I think it takes like an hour, which is like pretty fast, like a pair of socks in 2 hours. Then this pair of socks, or no, this sock, the mate, I knit it the exact same way, but when I got to the heel, I tightened the tension on the machine. And then after the heel, I went back to the other tension, continued knitting. None of the stitches came off, which is great. Whenever the stitches pop off, it's like, ah, what's happening? And then I tightened the tension again for the toe. So this one worked out really well. I did the Kitchener stitch, and I think it looks pretty good. We have a pair, our first pair. Oops, I'm holding them upside down. And it's only day 3. I think that's pretty successful. This is like the most basic way that you can make a pair of socks on this machine, so we still have a lot to learn. I'm gonna make one more pair like this. I'm gonna make them slightly larger. I'm gonna make it for my friend Dennis because I think like his foot is probably similar to my foot in size, it's just longer. And I already have this cylinder on here, so I'm just gonna make another pair like this. They'll be for him, and then eventually we're gonna have to learn how to change the cylinder, and I do have larger and smaller cylinders, so I can make other people's socks in larger and smaller sizes. Also, I was having some issues with my machine. It's super squeaky, and I've noticed that like when I have this up, which is the heel, what's it called? I forget. It's the thing, it's like the tension for the heel. The machine is super squeaky. The machine came with these clamps for you to clamp the machine down to the table, and it really needs to be clamped down to the table because if it's moving, you just like can't use it. You can't use the handle, the crank, because it'll just move all around and it does not work. So these are the clamps that it came with. There are 3 of them and they all broke. It does say do not over tighten on the side, but I mean, you kind of have to tighten it to the table. I don't know, but they're all broken. So I went to the hardware store and I bought some of these tiny C-clamps. And this is the first time I'm going to be using them in this video. So I bought 3 so I could clamp it down in 3 places. The 2 like outer sides of the table, and then I have one that's like just next to the cylinder. So hopefully these work better, because I was trying to use the sock machine earlier and it was moving around and I was like so close to finishing, I was just like holding it down. And then after we finish this pair, I'm gonna move on to something different. I don't know what that is yet. I do have the ribber attachment and I really want to learn how to do a rib, because I would much prefer a rib cuff to the little turnover cuffs. Also, rib socks would be cute. There's also a video on the Dean and Bean YouTube for color work, and they do like a little checkerboard sock, so that could be fun. I have the color work mask too. I got the whole package, so we could do everything that they do on their YouTube channel. I'm also curious to do cables, because it seems like it would be pretty simple. Like if the tension was loose enough, you could maybe just switch the position of the yarn to twist it, but I'm not sure. They only had like one cable tutorial on their website. It was to make a cup holder, like a koozie. I didn't watch it. So I'm getting really excited to play around. Like now that it's working, I'm getting excited to use it. The color combination that I'm gonna go for this sock, I'm gonna do this multicolor yarn. I think he would like it. And I also have this green, and I have enough for the cuff, heels, and toes. I'll kind of talk through as I'm knitting, but I think I'm mostly gonna switch over to the machine POV. Ta-da! this is what I made. I think it worked pretty well. Let's see, I have 2 now. I have 2 of them, the pair. They look pretty good. Like the tension in the foot and ankle area is a little bit looser than the heel. When I use the heel spring, it's like right here. When I use the heel spring, it really tightens up the tension, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. It also seems like the heel spring is mainly there for pulling the yarn back, like because you're knitting back and forth. If you didn't have that tension, then the yarn would be like loose, like as you knit away, then you knit backwards. I don't know if that makes sense. But the heel spring really tightens the tension a lot. So my heel, my toe are very tight. This is also tight. I don't really like these folded over like faux cuffs very much. I've made 2 full pairs doing it this way, and then I made that first sock that did not work very well at all. So now I'm gonna move on to something else. I wanna make a toe up sock, and I did already give it a try. Oh my gosh, it's like no matter how I move that tripod, it's still in my face. Yeah, I wanna do a toe up sock, and I wanna learn, oh my god, it's in my face again. What the heck, am I not moving this? Oh, I think it's like falling down every time I move it. Let me just get it away. Yeah, I want to do a toe up sock, and I also want to use the ribbing attachment because I do have it, and I would much prefer to have a ribbed cuff than this, especially because like it kind of bubbles out, or like I guess it's not bubbling out, but it's very straight. And I really like it when the cuff is more fitted. Currently these are just like tubes, which is fine because I'm learning, but I want to learn how to make the perfect sock, and these are currently not the perfect socks. That's it for this video, and I will see you tomorrow for more learning. Bye!